Hey everyone, and welcome to Monica May's One Take Live. Before we even start, I always tell you to please help us spread the word. Tap like and click the share button to invite your family, your friends, and followers to be a part of this conversation. I do remind you that One Take Live streams to many places. We're live on Facebook. You can go to YouTube to pick us up. We're also on Spotify and now Apple Podcasts. Danesha and Andre Smith are our guests today. They're philanthropists and entrepreneurs. They're based out of the ATL. Both are HBCU graduates, Clark Atlanta and Southern University, respectively. They came to understand the gaps that exist in wealth through exposure and their experiences. Now, when you talk about knowing and owning who you are, where you've been, and wanting to give back, that's what the Smiths do. To bridge that gap, they founded what's called Shine2Inspire. It's a nonprofit focusing specifically on empowering young women to learn through various programs like Shine U. That's one of the many programs that give these young women tools from financial literacy to professional development. And you know, that's right up my alley. So they can also learn the entrepreneurship trade. I'm going to have Danesha and Andre explain just really what they do now. They know that some of the building blocks are taught. Real education begins with true mentorship, and that means hands-on experiences with many academic settings, okay? And in many instances, those academic settings are lacking. So in addition, they've teamed up with Microsoft and other tech savants to introduce AI and teach the girls about PGA golf. And you know, I always say a lot of decisions are made on the golf course. Do I know how to play? No, but that's okay. They do. With professional coaches they use and elite players. And let's just say they're doing what needs to be done to empower these young women with opportunities through exposure, scholarships, and internships. I want to just introduce you to this dynamic couple. They happen to be in Orlando. We're going to get the tea on why they're here. But let's just say that I just want to say thank you so much before we begin to Cassius Butts, because he connected us.
Yes.
He did connected us, you know, and you all are here today for what reason? Spill the tea on that, please.
Well, first of all, just thank you, Monica, for having us. It's just honored to be here and just to be able to talk about a little bit what we do every day. So thank you again.
Thank you, Monica.
You're more than welcome. Danesha and I have been talking a little bit about what you do, but I want you to explain to our One Take Live audience exactly what the Smiths do. You all own what now? That's the big thing.
So you know what? That's okay. So yeah, we own 8 McDonald's. We just sold.
They didn't say 1, y'all. They said 8. The number 8. Hello.
Well, you know, here's what I would say. You know, Monica, thank you again for having us. I would say McDonald's. Everybody knows McDonald's. So we don't need to spend time there. It's what we do. It's not who we are.
Yes.
And Shine2Inspire is about who we are. And so just quickly, so we are based out of the Atlanta metropolitan area. Andre is a native. I went to undergraduate here. And so Atlanta, you know, for me coming here in the mid 90s or the early 90s, I'm dating myself a bit. Atlanta has evolved into a global hub of so many different things. And it's a fantastic, you know, incubator, if you will, for talent. And so one of the things I know, and we really don't need to do the interview. You kind of did it. You said it all in the intro.
Right.
This is it.
You know, but we are both HBCU alums, and we don't start with that, but it has our HBCU experience. I'll speak for myself. And of course, Andre has been transformative in terms of not only experience, but who we have become, are becoming, and then the culture and connection. So if you go to my LinkedIn page, it's the culture and connection. So there's all the what you do, but then it becomes how and in what environment. And so that's exactly what we're trying to do as we're business owners here in Atlanta, which we've already talked about. Our charitable organization is around, or is about, really creating culture connection, but through experiences and exposure. Lots of C's, lots of E's. And so I'm going to be quiet for a second. I know Andre probably wants to say some things, and then we can really get into some of the things that we're doing and why we're here in Orlando.
I'm excited to hear that. Mr. Dre.
Yes.
Go ahead now.
Just to kind of add to that, I would say what it has created for us is opportunity. You know, we've had young Morehouse grads we work with different universities. But what it's exposed them to is that opportunity that they may not have gotten. I didn't get growing up as a college student. I know when I came through college, all I knew was go to college and get a job.
Yeah.
You know about all the other realms and opportunities you could have in business ownership, entrepreneurship. So that's what we want to expose them to.
Mm-hmm. You and let me just kind of chime in, because what you do has given you the opportunity to show you how to do it better
That part.
for others.
Right.
And I want to start with the beginning. How did you get into the culture of the McDonald's, the umbrella, and then you've grown that exponentially to bring in others to train them beyond a burger and a fry?
Sure. I love that. Yes, that's actually a term I use. It's much more than burgers and fries. And so Monica, what I would say is I'm originally from Arizona, and I'll spare you sort of the familial history, but I went to an HBCU, and that's where I would say it transformed my life. Everything that I thought, could have known, what have you. I was introduced to corporate America through a company or an organization called Inroads, which is still around today. So I was an Inroader, and they introduced me to Home Depot. I did, and so after I graduated and got my undergraduate degree, I did several things for Home Depot, moved around quite a bit. And it was through those experiences that I actually went on and left Home Depot and did a lot of other things corporately. But I had no idea business ownership was even a possibility at that time. So what I'm painting is sort of these incremental experiences that you have no idea, or at least I didn't have an idea, that it would lead us where we are today. I thought it was, hey, go to college, do well, get you a great job making a lot of money, and hey. And what I found, having been a lot of places domestically and internationally, being in rooms where I was the only person that looked like me, both in being a woman and being a woman of color or a Black woman, is I learned through those experiences how to think. I worked with individuals that in my mind, I said, wow. And they became informal mentors. And it was during those experiences. And then we had some life things happen when I became a mother and some of those other things where we said, you know what? There's so much more here. There's so much more here. And so this whole notion of being financially and fiscally responsible, of course, the partnership between Andre and me and what we've built as a unit and as a team, not as an individual. And all of those corporate experiences have brought at least me to say, I have got to be able to pay it forward.
Yes. And that brings us to Shine2Inspire. That is the long-term bridge that you all have built to kind of bridge the wealth divide, empower young women, teach them the professional innuendos, everything that they need, whether it is to own their own business or whether it is to shine in someone else's. So I want to talk about what that whole program exists like. What does it look like?
Yes. So Shine2Inspire, there are 5 sort of what we call the ease of choice. We're big on energy, which is where golf comes in, fitness, health. And that is primarily focused on women 13 to 17. We've now expanded it to 19, where we expose women of color to the game of golf. And if you've done anything in business, I would say 90, and don't quote me on this, 90% of the individuals, particularly in impact, big decision-making roles, they have played golf in some way, shape, or form. They know about it, and you find out a lot of times that the meeting before the board meeting happened on the golf course.
Yeah.
So we're exposing young women to the game of golf. Some of them are elite players. They've played before and they're used to it. And then we have another category where we have amateurs that are learning golf, and they're going to play it professionally, or they'll use it as they move forward, as they grow and evolve as individuals. We have another marquee program, which is called Shine U, as in shine, as in you is short for university, but also you shine. And that is actually co-educational, built off of a relationship we had at Morehouse, a program called Magnificent. But Shine U is designed to do exactly what you just outlined. Long term, it's to bridge wealth divides. And we know who we're talking about when we say wealth certified.
Yeah.
And what we're teaching them is exactly that business prowess. So we start at the collegiate level. We work a lot with HBCUs, historically Black colleges and universities, primarily, not exclusively. And we are teaching students what business looks like. So they learn it in the classroom. They learn it in a textbook. We give them real life.
Yeah.
So
Just wanted to add, they're going to be in our restaurants. They're going to learn from the ground up. They're going to be working, serving customers. They're going to learn how to be on the fry station. They're also going to be in our meetings. They're going to look at our P&Ls. They're going to discuss all the different things, all the different aspects of business. So they're going to learn a lot during this period.
We also have them sign non-disclosure agreements, so they see real data. They learn income statements. They learn profit and loss statements. They see who's making money, who's not. They understand the customer value proposition. And so that's the technical side of it. The other pieces that we've infused, you mentioned earlier, our relationship with Microsoft. Medina Ali and Reginald Sharif, both affiliated with Microsoft, we have built customized programming that will fit.
Wonderful.
Yes, that will fit sort of as we evolve in this global space. We will focus on data science, predictive analysis, and artificial intelligence. So there is a big technology focus and a significant financial focus where we not only teach the academics of financials, we're actually helping financial literacy by saying, okay, talk to me. What is, in most organizations, it's called EBITDA. We call it pre-debt cash flow in our organization. So we're teaching them the ins and outs of that. So no matter whether they are a franchisee for McDonald's, they go out and sign, start their own sole proprietor or their own LLC, they are financially savvy and competent.
Right.
I don't care what your leaning is. I don't care if you love drawing art all day. If you go out and build an art studio, you're going to understand you need to sell paintings to make money. Nonprofits still have to have an operating budget. So you need to understand financials, which is one of the reasons we're here in Orlando, because in one of our future magazine, we have a digital magazine called Shine Enthusiasts. It's quarterly. We are going to be talking a lot about financial literacy. So we were here today to talk to Gerald Hector, who is the SVP of Administration and Finance at the University of Central Florida. Yes. Because what we need everyone to understand, particularly our viewers and our readers, is to understand that no matter the business, make it your business to know the business.
And that is the best way to sum it all up. No matter the business, make it your business to know the business. Absolutely. I know several people who have dived into business and didn't understand the P&Ls. I know several people who have had nonprofits, me included, have been learning as we go because no one taught us this stuff.
Correct.
And so I really wanted to have you all on, first of all, to let people understand that there are people who look like us who are willing to share knowledge with us. That's the first thing, because we always say, well, nobody told me. Well, yeah, we're telling you. There's not been a time that you all got this information free. So the fact that you are, I'm sure yours was through trial and error. That's the T&E. The T&E of learning, trial and error.
Right. Yes, you're absolutely right.
Okay. So I just want to tell you both, and this is what I was going to say at the end, but we're not at the end, is that you will be blessed in all that you do. You will be, because you've summed it all up, you've put it in a sack, and now you're willing to share it with other people. All right. I want to know, how do people become engaged in Shine2Inspire? And how do people become engaged with Shine U?
There's several different ways depending on where you sit. And one thing I just want to round out the thought on Shine U. So we do a lot of the what, but we also focus on the how. There are master classes, which are by people like you that are coming in and you're imparting and you're bringing that knowledge and wisdom. It's also an opportunity for our interns to network, which is probably, it separates the good from the great to the excellent. Is the power of the network. So we do a masterclass series, and we also teach the game of golf. We have a PGA instructor and an LPGA instructor, Dr. Greta Anderson and Kent Buckner. They teach our interns golf, and they don't have to be pros, but they do need to be somewhat fluent in understanding golf terms, golf etiquette, and so that they're fluent when they are, eventually in a business setting. And then the fourth component is what we call the social and community responsibility. So they do give back to the community. And that is exactly, as we think about that 360 business owner, this individual is not only the what, it's how they're doing it, and then they're giving back. And that is what we want to teach in the right environment and the right experiences and the right exposure. So that's Shine You. To get to your second question around how do they get involved? Well, we are a nonprofit, and so we do want to work with investors and donors that believe in our mission. And one of the things we will say as we've talked to a lot of individuals is we're not interested in 1 year. Of course, we will accept donations, but this is a long term, and you know this, Monica, building wealth, creating wealth, and closing the gap is decades-long work.
Yes.
And so we are planting seeds, but we need partners. We need help to do that. So that's one way to get involved. And what I would say separates us from the big organizations out there like the Microsofts, the Googles that can do this for themselves and they have the relationships is we do the heavy lifting. We provide the real hands-on business experience. Andre and I are in there with the interns. We are bringing the content and we're bringing the programming live. And so it's nothing that you're going to watch on a video. It is nothing that you're going to experience online. You're going to live it. And so
that's so good. Yes.
That's the difference because, you know, you always say, well, what's the value to the customer? You know, Hyatt, as an example, or Microsoft, they have many more resources than we do. And they have vast networks. What we do is we're living, breathing entrepreneurs, business owners that are in the trenches. This is not an academic exercise. This is real life, real feelings. They'll see pain, they'll see joy, they'll see sweat equity.
Yeah.
And it's not about being in a cubicle, if you will, on an internship.
What about the students? How do you find your students to be able to nurture them? How do the girls get in touch with you?
So we work with a wonderful organization called the National Dean's HBCU Roundtable. They have relationships at most of the historically Black colleges and universities. And we rely on the school administration to recommend those students. Right now, we're taking only 8 because we do house those individuals. We bring them to Atlanta. Many of our students that are coming this summer are not from Atlanta. So we house them and we give them the full experience of, you know, living in the house, working in teams to work on a real business issue. So we rely on the schools to recommend to us who they believe will be great for this type of work.
So are these more business-oriented students? I'm just trying to give students an opportunity to look out for Shine2Inspire. You can go to their .org, their website, to find out more. But this is something that's amazing. And is it only HBCU students? You wouldn't take a PWI young lady with potential?
We would. We work with Georgia State University right now. We have a phenomenal relationship with Georgia State. And so what I would say there is, no, it's not exclusive to HBCUs. But however, when we talk about bridging wealth divides, there is a certain demographic and there's a certain population, right? When you're talking about bridging that gap. And we are both HBCU alums. However, we are open to work with schools and institutions that believe in the mission.
And that's important. That mission has to be the driving force. And people have to, first of all, understand that. And when we talk about financial wealth, we got to talk about that legacy. So a couple of shows I've done have been specific to how do you build that legacy? Well, this is one way to do it. You've got to have some kind of foundation. And that's what Andre and Danesha are helping you to do. If you're interested as an aspiring business person, if you're interested in understanding the fundamentals of business, it is P&L, but it is also a culture. It is also a culture of excellence that Danesha and Andre are talking about. You can't just walk in to a situation, you can't just walk into an operation and say, okay, I want to be a part of this. I want to own it. This is what I want to do. No, you have to be raised up into it so that when you finally get your turn at the table, you're ready. you are ready. And I
Mm.
love what you're putting into them. You're putting in everything from top to bottom, from shining inside is important, but shining outside too. So are we only doing this for young women? Do you do anything for young men?
So on the Shine2 side, as you mentioned, that is
Okay.
co-educational, so it will be men and women. For now,
Okay.
we're doing the girls for the girls in golf. So
No,
I
I'm
think it's
not
going to
mad at
expand.
that.
I think it's going to expand to men as well, but that's where we got to start from, and we're going to keep going with that.
Hmm. Hmm. So your connection with my good friend Cassius Butts, where did that start?
Again, a relationship. So we have a Morehouse student, Kamir Hodge, who actually, he is an entrepreneur as well, and we work with him on social media. Kamir Hodge introduced us to Cassius. And when we started talking about some of the things that we're working on, Shine2Inspire, that is, Cassius, Andre, and I, we could see the parallels in what he does and where we're going. He is a mastermind and at relationship building.
Mm-hmm.
And so as we have amplified and are on the path to amplify our message and our impact and to have outcome, we are working with Cassius to help us do that in the spaces where it makes sense and where there's mission-aligned work. So that's how we're working with Cassius. I mean, this is just the beginning. And I will tell you, Shine2, year one is sort of foundational and fundamental. Where we go is global, and we do much more technologically with Shine2. And then, of course, from a financial standpoint, you're not going to be a financial wizard year one. So year two, we get into things like tax strategy and some of those things that really can help or hurt a business owner. And Andre and I have lived all of it.
Lived experience.
Correct.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So besides the T&E, there's the LE, the lived experience, you know, and that's valuable.
Exactly.
That's valuable.
Exactly.
The other thing I want to know is when you're looking for students, what is that ideal student? I know, for instance, when I'm looking for an intern, even if their interest is not necessarily communications, I mean, it helps if it is, because then we have a driven connection. But I put so much into them, and it's so funny. One of my interns, and I'm a contract employee. I have my own company, and I contract to a radio station here. So I pull in my own interns and take care of them. And one of them wasn't even a radio person, but she has learned. She just graduated. They stay with me longer than 6 months, longer than the term, because the lessons just keep building and building and building, and life lessons. And I'm like you all, I'm teaching them about life. I'm teaching them more, teaching them about the business of media, teaching them all the ins and outs, so that when they do get that position, nothing goes over their head. They understand, or they have seen it, they've experienced it. And that to me is lifelong. That's the part that brings value. That is the thing that you can't get in that book.
Yes.
Because I got to tell you, when I first came out of college, I got my first job. Thank God I had a voice, but I wasn't prepared. I was not prepared. Had a wonderful degree in my hand, and it was a white guy that said, "Your resume and that degree can't talk to me. Go in there and do an air check." I didn't even know what that was.
Love that. There you go.
Awesome.
You know what?
I didn't even know the basics.
Yes.
And we were, I won't put him on, I won't put him out there, but we were talking to one of the deans of one of the schools, and he said, this is exactly what we need. This is contemporary education. We are really building the experience. And the ideal intern that we look for, so we were strategically and deliberately did not put grade point average. You do not have to be a business student, to the point you raised about media and entertainment. We look for qualitative indicators: grit, resourceful,
energy, passion. I mean, are you willing to grit, like she said? Are you willing to come into the stores and work extra hours if you have to learn more? Are you going to be inquisitive? You're going to ask questions about business? Are you going to sit in our meetings and lead some of our meetings? We're looking for that type of person.
And I would think definitely the resourceful and the problem solving aspects.
Yes.
Because as you know, Monica, you've been on this journey. nobody is going to tell you. You'll have wonderful mentors and you'll have people along the way. But when it comes to the next step, whatever it is, or however you define that, a lot of it is your ability to be resourceful and to put things together.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been my competitive advantage, is that, but also doing a lot of things that people didn't find sexy. A lot of things that people said, oh, I'm not moving to San Francisco, or I'm not going there. And those were the opportunities. And so many of us get caught up in, ooh, it has to be this way, that way. And okay. And you know what I say to those students? Then this is not the one for you.
Mm-hmm. You know, in my industry, and I'll go back to this as well, I have lived some of everywhere, y'all. I would say, and I was a single mom too, so I would say have baby and microphone will travel.
I love that.
Yes.
And my baby learned her first words inside of a radio station while I had the microphone open. You know, so you have to be willing to grit for what you're going to get. And you can use that if you like, grit for what you're going to get.
Listen.
What you gonna get? I like that.
Grit for what you're going to get, because it's not going to be easy. Listen, if you are just tuning in, oh, you missed a great conversation, but you can catch us back on Facebook, YouTube, and now on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Danesha and Andre Smith are philanthropists, they're entrepreneurs, they're based out of Atlanta. They are here in Orlando just for a moment now to interview somebody who's going to come on our podcast a little bit later. And I've been in seminars where Gerald Hector, who is the senior VP and he just does all the crunching numbers for UCF, was at Morehouse before coming down here. I've been there where he has mesmerized hundreds of people. His book is amazing. We're going to talk about that when I see him. But he is a God-fearing, God-loving man.
Absolutely.
And his spirit, his spirituality precedes him through the door.
Yes.
It enters the door before Gerald even gets there. And when he gets there, he lights you up with that smile. And then his emotional intelligence, I'll say. And to know that the circle that I am now putting myself into with Danesha and Andre and with Cassius Butts and also Gerald Hector, you all better tag on with us, because this is what you're going to need. We have what you need to get you to the next level. This is not anything that you're going to learn in a book. You're going to have to reach out to Danesha and Andre through their websites. If you are looking to sponsor a great Black organization, Shine2Inspire.org is where you can find some information. They have an amazing university, Shine U, that puts that polish on students that helps to close that wealth gap. So that means that they are learning everything from top to bottom on how to run a business. They are owners of several McDonald's there in Atlanta. They got the grit to get what they want. And that's what you need in order to succeed in business. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to wrap this up. Danesha, you go first, and then Dre, give us your 30-second spiel on what you'd like people to know more about you all.
Yeah, Shine2Inspire is about the 4 E's that make the 5th E. Energy, mental and physical are the foundation to performance potential and excellence. Education that can be formal, but also just continual learning. Empowerment, you've got to be positioned in those right environments to excel. And engagement, having the right network, the right mentors, and the right people along the way can be the bridge to entrepreneurship, which really is a key gateway to closing the wealth gap.
That is
I just
it.
said our Shine U that starts this summer is going to be fun, action-packed. They're going to learn a lot. They're going to work hard. But most of all, they're just going to have fun. And we're just excited to just teach them all the aspects of the business. And just get ready to see what they're going to do in life. So I myself, as a former educator, have just seen some students that's come and they've grown and said, hey, I went to college because you went to college. Now I want them to say, I went to business because you were in business. So that's what's exciting for us.
Setting them up for a life of success, and they are emulating you guys. That's a wonderful thing. So like I said, you all are going to be eternally blessed for the give backs that you're doing already, but even more so for the life and legacy that people can see you all living. So thank you so much,
Thank you,
Danesha and
Mark.
Andre,
Thank
for
Thank
being on One Take Live. We appreciate you so much. And if there's anything I can do, I'll keep talking and spreading the word about you guys. Keep spreading the word about what we're doing here in Orlando, okay? So thank you very much. One Take Live, my family, streams live to Facebook, YouTube, and we're also on Spotify and Apple. Thank you for enjoying another segment of One Take Live. I'm Monica May.